Bada bing, bada boom. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to This Week in Esports and Gaming for the final week of September 2022. I'm your host, Mark Kine. There's lots of things happening in the industry this week, so let's dive right into the news. For our first top 3 story, the creative agency OFFBRAND has officially launched. The group consists of Nick Allen, who's the president of Mogul Moves and has executive roles at CLG, Twitch, Loaded, and Riot Games in the past. Nathan Stans, who's the former general manager at Gen G and has worked with Liquid and Curse in the past. Ludwig Ogren, who's the huge streamer that most people know for doing the subathon last year and made him the most sub 2 person on Twitch, now he's streaming on YouTube. And Brandon Ewing, who's a consumer marketing manager at Nvidia and formerly worked at Twitch as well. Nathan, Ludwig, and Brandon all went to ASU, which makes me proud personally, but more importantly, they're all streamers, so they really understand how streamers work or don't work, and how events should really be run for streamers. Their main goal is to work with brands and creators to allow creators to have larger events and initiatives to be run in terms of production, sponsorships, logistics, and more. And so they want to help these creators out. They also mentioned that it won't necessarily just be huge streamers, that they also want to look for all types of streamers and creators and things like that. So that being said, their first event is with the largest Twitch streamer, XQC, on his new show called Juiced. All this in mind, I think it's just really awesome to see creators taking their brands and businesses to the next level. It's really awesome to see that they're able to apply their diverse backgrounds, across different roles in esports, gaming, and tech, and push this agency to the next level. I'm curious to see what events they put on and what the monetization will be like, but who knows? Maybe I'll be the next ASU person to join them. Google Stadia are going to shut down. The official date of the shutdown is January 18th, 2023, which means players will have to be off by then. And Google said that those who have invested money into Stadia will be fully reimbursed, including hardware purchases, as well as all in-game content, as well as just game content and general purchases made through the Stadia store. That being said, the Stadia store now is closed along with in-game purchases, so you can't buy anything at this moment. And Google mentioned the main reason for this closure being the fact that it didn't gain as much traction among users as expected. This whole closure was alluded to when Google kind of closed its internal game dev studios last year, given that they were focusing resources elsewhere in the company. I think that the Stadia VP and GM Phil Hairston also said that the underlying tech platform that powers Stadia has been useful and will still be relevant to Google and their partners, but just Stadia itself wasn't necessarily doing as well for Google to justify the investment. This comes as Google's also seemingly look up to make the company about 20% more efficient given the poor financial performance of just the economy in general. And it doesn't seem like Stadia has much traction from the start, but other than that, the fact that Google still supported it, I'm curious to see where the tech will be used in the future. Saudi Arabia have unveiled a $38 billion investment plan into gaming and esports. Savvy Games Group announced quite a few plans, including acquiring a leading game publisher, as well as investing into key gaming companies, industry disruptors, as well as mature industry partners. For reference, Savvy Games Group is 100% owned by the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, and they aim to make Saudi Arabia the global hub for gaming and esports by 2030, or one of them at least. They will be using $18.6 billion for minority investments in existing companies, with another $500 million to be spent on disruptors mentioned earlier, and $5.3 billion for mature industry partners. They want to establish 250 gaming companies with 39,000 people employed between them, and there will definitely be backlash from folks in Western countries given Saudi Arabia's history and human rights. I think it's also interesting given the whole Neom situation that happened with Blast and Riot Games in the past. I'm curious to see how Saudi Arabia will address these and if they will at all. I'm curious to see what the consumer response will be like in the West. I'm also curious to see what the consumer response will be like in the East and the Middle East in general, because the Western perspective is the one that I'm more familiar with. As far as partnerships go, Gen G partnered with ExxonMobil. The result will be 2 Rocket League esports teams under the Gen G Mobile One Racing banner for both the men's and women's roster. The teams will compete in the NARLCS as well as the Women's Carball Championship with the support of Mobile One. Panda partnered with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios become an official snack partner of the Panda Cup Super Smash Bros. Circuit, and they will also include in-person activations as well as the Wonderful Pistachios Last Chance Qualifier. Riot Games have partnered with the food delivery company Just Eat. The partnership comes just in time for the League of Legends World Championships, and as a result, the World Streams in Germany, Poland, and Spain will feature Just Eat activations with in-game sponsorship placement, as well as logos in stream and analysis segments sponsored by Just Eat as well. As far as finance and M&A goes, Enthusiast Gaming has sold their media assets for $4.9 million US. The assets include Destructoid, Escapist Magazine, Operation Sports, PC Invasion, Siliconera, Upcomer as well, and they were bought by Gamers Group, which is one of the owners of the publication Esports. This comes after Enthusiast recorded a $26 million loss in the first half of 2022. FlyQuest has been acquired by the Viola family office. For reference, the Viola family office also owns the Florida Panthers, which are an NHL team, and this is the first time FlyQuest has changed ownership since it was founded in 2017. The Viola family office will continue FlyQuest's showcase greatness ethos, and we'll see how this ownership shift changes anything at the org, if at all. Los Grandes have acquired and merged with Team One. The 2 Brazilian esports organizations have merged in a deal that would value Los Grandes at around $19 million. The acquisition means that all of Team One's assets will now belong to Los Grandes, and that Alexandre Perez, the CEO of Team One, will join Los Grandes' board as well. The cloud computing company WeldLink Technologies have raised a $40 million Series B. The round is led by Temasek with Future Capital, CDH Ventus, and Growth Capital taking part as well. They will use this round to improve its capabilities as it relates to real-time cloud rendering to games. AmazeVR have raised a $17 million Series B. Firms like Mirai Asset Management, as well as CJ Investment, Smilegate Investment, and Crafton took part in the round. The funding will be used to expand their capabilities in the music virtual concert space, as well as getting more artists to host events with AmazeVR. Hadeen raised a $30 million Series A. The round was led by Molten Ventures with participation from 2050 Capital, Alumni Ventures, and more. The round will be used to scale up its metaverse ventures to create new tools for creators to use in emerging metaverse areas. As far as workforce changes go, Oscar Dobbins joins Volpine Esports as a community and marketing manager. He's done freelance writing for Gfinity and Dexerto in the past and has also worked with Ren Esports in the past. He's working towards his esports degree right now at Staffordshire University. Hamish McIntyre joins Blast as the senior media rights manager. He was previously with SNTV for the past 6 years doing commercial management as well as sales and marketing as well. He holds a bachelor's in sports management from the University of Edinburgh. Brian Shanahan joins Riot Games as the director of social, and Selena Liu has been promoted to game producer at Riot Games. Brian was formerly at Activision for 7 years working on digital marketing for Call of Duty and was most recently an associate director. He's done sports and music marketing as well in the past in the UK, and he holds a bachelor's in marketing from the Technological University of Dublin. Selena has been with Riot for the past 3 years and was previously an associate producer for Esports for the past year and a half. She holds a master's in communication management from USC. Kyle Ramos and Kayla Mansell joined 2K as the Associate Social Media Manager as well as Global Creator Relations Manager as well. Kyle was formerly a content programmer at Bleacher Report for the past year where he worked on building out a community program. He has lots of experience in marketing and socials in the sports space, and he holds a bachelor's in journalism from Cal State Long Beach. And Kayla was most recently the Social Media and Gaming Community Manager for TLM Partners for the past 10 months and has experience streaming on Twitch too. She's working towards her PhD in Health Education and Promotion from Walden University. Jonah Keel and Brianna Richard have been promoted at 42 West BHI, and Blake Schuster joins the company as well. Jonah has been with BHI and 42 West for about 6 years now and was most recently leading the agency's interactive gaming and esports practice. He will now be overseeing all gaming and tech, and he holds a Bachelor in Fine Arts from Wright State University. Blake was formerly the head of US comms for esports and gaming at Red Bull, and he did comms and PR for Curse and Blizzard in the past as well, so he's well versed in gaming. He holds an econ degree from UCLA, and Brianna is now the VP of Entertainment and Content as well as Consumer Products, and has been with the company for about 8 years at this point, where she's worked with folks like Ninja, Warner Brother Games, as well as Jacksepticeye. She holds a Bachelor's of Journalism and PR from Baylor University. Kevin Lin joins BASE as an advisor. He will be advising on various business decisions as it relates to BASE and their Web3 vision. He was a co-founder of Twitch, which makes him very prevalent in the gaming space, and he holds a bachelor's degree in ecology and evolutionary biology from Yale. Daniel Friedrich joins TripleDot as the Chief Games Officer. He will be responsible for expanding TripleDot's portfolio of casual mobile games and scaling games from their newly acquired studios. He was formerly the president of games at Scopely for around 3 years, and he holds an MBA from Technion at Israel Institute of Technology. Jay Hairston joins XP League as the Director of Special Programs. He will be responsible for implementing and leading their virtual esports program, as well as project development, implementation, and performance. He was formerly the Social Director for Envy Gaming, so he has a good amount of experience in the gaming and esports space. And last but not least, Bandai Namco Europe have launched a music label. They will publish original soundtracks and scores from games, and their first 2 albums coming from Elden Ring as well as Tales of Arise. Starting to see a new trend here of gaming companies starting music labels for their games as well. That's it for this week in esports and gaming. Thank you so much for tuning in. Credit to the authors and publications themselves for the images and information provided. If you want to, learn more about the workforce changes and the people on the move, shout out to James Fudge for that newsletter. I get a lot of my information from there. And as always, everybody, if you know someone who finds this valuable, please share it with them. And if not, well, just have a great day, everybody.